let me perhaps start with stressing that there's a long tradition of public history, to use this term, of public history in Germany. I mean, at least since the 19th century, when prominent historians played a major part in forging and legitimizing the German nation state by constructing or by even inventing a national history, culminating then in the foundation of the Kaiserreich in 1870. Again, after 1918, after the First World War, we find German historians as prominent participants in the public debate about, for example, Germany's war guilt and the Treaty of Versailles. And we could, of course, discuss the role of German historians during the Third Reich, including those, of course, who as experts were engaged in planning and legitimizing the politics of genocide in Eastern Europe. But there's no doubt that the central role of Germany's Nazi past in German politics, society, and culture after 1945 strengthened the public role and probably the public responsibility of historians. Germany was after 1945 and still is a society in Hitler's shadow, to use Richard Evans' book title. And the weight of the Nazi past is strong, still strong, and this past is omnipresent. Over the decades, it has probably become a central element of Germany's political culture. And I have the impression that this is even more the case, and even stronger so, since 1990. Germany is a nation state again. And the question is important, I think, how this unified nation, not probably reunified, but unified, how this unified nation refers itself to its national history. I mean, in addition, unified Germany has to deal not only with the Nazi past, but it has to deal with the history of the GDR. And this, of course, is not only an academic task, it's a very present, a very current and burning issue. Another point referring to the Nazi past, the last survivors of Nazism and especially the Holocaust will die within the next few years. And the question is, how will we remember the Third Reich, the Second World War, the Holocaust in the future? This seems to me a question of extraordinary political and cultural importance, and many of the history-related debates in recent years, from the Wehrmacht exhibition to the debate about das Amt und die Vergangenheit, received their significance, but also their degree of, their controversial debate and the sharp conflict from this background, the question of memory in generational change. By the nature of their profession, historians play an important part in this process, but our research and its results, they have time and again to be translated, I would argue, to a broader public. We have to, I mean, in that sense, we probably as historians, we can function as translators, interpreters of history, of academic history and its findings, and we have to a broader public. And this is probably what the public expects us to do, and this is part of our public responsibility as historians. We should certainly, and this is my last point for this first round or this first statement, we should probably not leave public history and public memory, and to avoid the word memory business, to the media alone. Public history needs historians because it must not lose its connection to academic research and the questions and answers of history as an academic discipline, which I think is quite important. So this kind of memory business is not the same as what we are doing as historians in academia and at the universities. We have this kind of translating function, which is, I think quite important, and it has never been so clear to me as in recent years, and especially after 1990.